Just leave that. Keep that. And cut this. You can just leave that play. Sacrifices don't make you hurt. Opposing to leaving dirt. Oppose the questions. It's a question you have it first. It's a question for you to do the things you got in worth. Of course, the right. Course on the road. Course on the road. Course on the right. Course on the road. Of course on the road. Of course. Even shining like a Of course. Don't leave me stranded like a lot of lost. No. Of course. I've never left you stranded like I've never left you stranded. And I always had a car. You had 2 cars. I only had uno. Look at me like we not playing cards. This is a reverse. Uno. Dos. Uno, dos. 2 + 2 is 4. Call me what you want to. Of course, I'm making money. She wanna see new coasts. I wanna go on a cruise, but this ship is not real. No, this is not a real relationship. I have to sail breaks. I have to take some time. Golden sun and golden lakes. I have to take some time. Remember, I was in Riverdale, driving to Atlanta. I hope the car is faster. I'm driving to Atlanta. I know I'ma make it last. A year or two. Of course. Don't leave me stranded like you dead and wrong. I'll leave me stranded like you dead and wrong. Don't leave me stranded like this land of the lost. Of course. I press stop. She wanna go, she wanna jump off. I go harder than I was before. They wanna go and jump in. I wanna go and jump off. Jump on. Jump.